when will the landlords give the meat a free lease? Mr. Ebenrod is humbly asking for the state of Mississippi.
This is Dusty Basement Studios, and we approve of this message.
Right. Bro, you a genius. I ain't gonna lie. This is like, bro, you was a genius. I swear. You're gonna go down like Elijah Muhammad or Malcolm X with this. You finna go down in history with this one. I swear to God, bro.
Well, I'm their child. You know, we all their children.
Yeah, but bro, you know, you your own, you different, bro. I mean, to think of that. I mean, bro, this is genius. Like, I don't just say stuff just to be saying it. Like, I swear to God, bro, you are really on something to come up with this. I don't know how you came up with this, but this is. How did you come up with that?
The Mississippi campaign represents everything that you claim that you want. The beginning of an all-black independent nation. The ability to control your own resources. Your politics. The law. Be able to do your own thing for a change. Create an economy. Create and produce goods that Africa or anybody on the planet would want. You think you don't want to do nothing. 3 hours talking about the Mississippi campaign.
Let's see, Taalib says, can you send a shout out to my platform, the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Our theme this year is After Purge Comes the Heal. So shout out to your platform, Taalib. All the best to you guys with continuing to stretch in perspective, to stretch in what is possible, and to continue.
Just keep it going. It's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody room for me. Like can we make it plain and simple? Bring it down to jet, fire at reality simple. Reality simple. I'm black people. It's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody room for me. Like can we make it plain and simple? Bring it down to jet, fire. Just keep it going.
Himself, and you don't realize it. You don't realize it that God has been in prison. The devil was able to imprison God. So right inside your own self, your God self has been imprisoned, and you have a false sense of self running rampant inside the temple. This is why, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We have to bring reality temple here on earth. Reality temple here on earth. We have to realize the enemy is running rampant inside this temple.
And that is Brother Taalib from the Reality Temples on Earth channel. And if you get a chance to subscribe, please do subscribe to his channel. He's a good brother. You know, he's doing good work, and he wants to do good constructive things. He has good information to provide. So please do check out his channel if you get a chance.
My brother Angel Snubnub 7 at the Reality Temple. And to give props to him, because I listened to all of Angel Snubnub 7's videos. I think that he comes from a different angle, and there's a powerful message in a lot of the videos that he put out, and I try to catch all of them. I look at him as a free thinker and a person that's willing to challenge those of which he don't agree with or which he may think differently from, and I really respect him for that. He's challenged KNBS, and he has also challenged the Black Supremacy Movement as well. And I have nothing against that, because that which cannot be challenged cannot stand, and will not stand, and will not survive the test of time. How many challenges we can withstand will determine how long we will be able to stand.
Just keep it going.
bro, this is genius. Like, I don't just say stuff just to be saying it. Like, I swear to God, bro, you are really on something to come up with this. I don't know how you came up with this, but this is
specifically to oppress black people, to try to suppress our determination to achieve liberation. Like Angela Davis said, it's built into the system.
Nowadays I can't believe what's going on in front of me. I don't want to watch TV and find another casualty. I don't want to read the news. My heart's already black and blue. I'm putting on my combat boots, 'cause I got an attitude. We're like soldiers forced to fight a war. What the hell? I can't take it anymore. 'Cause for so long we've been patient, now we're done. And don't you even ask me, when did I become such an angry black woman? Every day is a struggle, but as long as my brothers and my sisters are in trouble, goddamn, I'm a ABW.
We can't successfully put an end to racial discrimination until we change the entire system.
We've been trying to keep the peace 50 years since Martin King. Some don't like me for who I am, but I love my melanin. Another future college grad sleeping in a body bag. Mother screaming out her lungs, she never gonna see her son. We're like soldiers forced to fight a war. What the hell? I can't take it anymore. 'Cause for so long we've been patient, now we're done. And don't you even ask me, when did I become such an angry black woman? But as long as my brothers and my sisters are in trouble, you're damn right I'm a ABW.
sisters. This is Tangi Cox, the Black Sheep, and I am propositioning you to entertain just a little while of being in reality. And this is gonna hurt soul sisters and brothers because a lot of us cannot accept reality. I empower you to, for 1 year, to subscribe to the reality temple on earth. Conclusion of what have you learned in that amount of time. I empower you. You will never, ever, ever think, feel, or entertain nonsense ever again, period. I would like to see my soul sisters and brothers awaken. This requires time. You need to spend about a year watching, researching, and looking. Reality Temple on Earth is life-changing, and I stand on that.
Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly.
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
Peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition, spontaneous edition of what we call the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper, the host of this program, known here on social media. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother, number one. Okay. This is a spontaneous broadcast, and it was not my intent to, oh, here go our special guest. I think he's able to, I guess he's able to get in here. He's not coming in too good. He's not connecting. If you hear me, Brother Taalib, you're not connecting. Hold on a sec. We're having technical difficulties. This is, hey, how you doing there, Kenya? Thank you very much, Kenya. Shout out to Kenya. I also want to say that we are broadcasting, simulcasting on Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry YouTube channel, Realities Temple on Earth YouTube channel, Angel Snub 7 YouTube channel, and Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry Facebook channel and all its affiliates. We've got a lot of broadcasting. I also want to add, as soon as Rumble becomes free, we're going to stream free on Rumble. Today's broadcast is featuring special guest, Brother Taalib, who wants to bring us a message. So that's who we want to hear. We're having technical difficulties. Let's see. We might have to put him on speakerphone. The old standby speakerphone. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see what's going on. Because he's not coming through. He needs to try. It's not coming through. Let's see what's going on here. Standby technical difficulties beyond our control. Hey, you're not coming through. Try again.
Okay.
All right. I did an earlier premiere video that I did on a different format. Are black men, are we gods, kings? Are we strong? I noticed for some men, they couldn't handle it and they unsubscribed. They unsubscribed because they want unearned praise, unearned credit for being something they don't qualify, for doing nothing except sitting on their ass watching a YouTube video. You would think that it takes more than watching a YouTube video to call yourself a god or a king, or are you strong? I'm real with mine. I don't see the strength. I don't see the godliness. I don't see, or we don't have a kingdom We're not controlling, we're not ruling anything. And then when I say, or I suggest, let us use our political power and take control of a state like Mississippi. Here go Brother Taalib, I think. I think he finally come in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There he is. He finally made it.
Greetings to everyone.
Greetings.
How y'all doing?
All right.
Yes.
Hey, Brother Taalib, I want to talk to you before you get into your talk, your conversation.
Yes.
Hey, what's up there, Nola, man? I saw a picture of you. I was trying to find it. It looked like you was with one of those daughters of Malcolm X.
Yeah. Did I send you the picture?
Yeah, I seen the picture. I posted it in the community section of Angel Snub Nub 7 YouTube channel. So those, I was trying to.
Did it show me wearing a Nike long sleeve sweatshirt?
I believe so. I'm not really sure, so I can't say it. But I posted the picture on Angel Snub Nub 7 YouTube channel, the community page. So anybody that want to see that, anybody that want to see Brother Taalib's picture, go ahead and talk about it real quick, Brother Taalib.
I was here in Nebraska. They was doing a formal commemoration. People from the state of Nebraska, being that he was born here in Omaha, Nebraska, back in 1925, and of course, he made his transition on February 21st of 1965. Now, they decided to honor him with a statue, and so his daughter appeared there, along with some other family members of his and other supporters to help celebrate that. And so after, they had made it an official, commemoration of him with his statue that sits in the hall with other statues in the state capitol building, the people from Nebraska recognized for their contributions and influences in life and stuff like that. It was a real feeling moment for me, because it had really took them this long to honor him here in the state he was born in. Mm-hmm. I helped to share that moment. After that, we went to Nebraska State Museum where they had, drinks and, and other amendables like food and stuff. You sit down and that's how I was able to get outside in front of that Nebraska State Museum and go anyway. So I caught her at the end tail right before she was right about ready to leave,
Yeah.
And stuff and everything. So, and just, it was a warming experience, just being in there for that, because it like I said, finally honor him.
Yeah.
Even the governor of Nebraska was there to give his introduction presentation on it, Mm-hmm. He all helped to commemorate that moment. in history, you know, and that he is definitely a prodigal son, a native son, and a prodigal son of Nebraska.
Yeah.
You know, so we had to, you know, honor him with that commemoration, and so I enjoyed it, you know, and also got a chance to meet the great granddaughter of this guy who they have depicted in a statue down in Veracruz, Mexico, who was a anti-slave freedom fighter for his people down there. And she was like, I believe, a third generation granddaughter of his.
Mm-hmm.
And I even took a picture with her. And we had talked for a few minutes and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
So, I think his name was Gasper. His name was Gasper something. I don't want to get it mistaken. His name mistaken, but his name was. I know his first name is Gasper, but he helped lead his people. You know, because you know they did have unquote African slaves in Mexico too. You know,
mm-hmm.
So you know he fought. You know, to help free his people down there and that part of North America. You know, so. You know, it was a very warming moment, you know, to be able to, you know, be a part of, you know, and out of all the years that I've traveled to different places, especially even in my native Detroit, Michigan, where Malcolm X spent a lot of time at, before when he was Detroit Red and when he was Malcolm X, you know, I've actually graced, you know, different sites like the Old Nation of Islam temple, which was converted into a mosque by the followers of Muhammad, who is the son of Elijah Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
But inside that building is where Malcolm X actually taught at under the Nation of Islam teachings of Elijah Muhammad back sometime around the 50s, I believe, after he got out of prison, you know, and stuff. And I also have graced walking by back and forth all the time this Ford Auditorium Museum, which they had tore down years ago. He actually gave one of his very last public speeches prior to his assassination in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it was something, and I even reminded his daughter about that, you know. So, you know, and I also have graced locations where one location I know where he had an office at in Harlem on the corner of 125th Street and on 7th Avenue and 125th Street. And if you go right around the corner, it's right across part of the building that's facing the Apollo Theater, which is right across the street from there. So, you know, Malcolm X, he definitely was a household name in Harlem. And I believe that's where his daughter up in New York somewhere, that's where she helps do most of the work at to keep his name relevant,
mm-hmm.
you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, and plus that Audubon ballroom where he was assassinated, I believe they named that after him. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But they always having different functions, and even in commemoration of him, like right before she came here for that presentation commemorating him and honoring him here in his birthplace in Nebraska. I saw her on there with this one other brother, and they was, you know, he used to be popular on CNN, and he also used to be a part of that TV news, that TV1 news, like a black television news station.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a part of that, you know, and stuff, and he helped her, I guess, commemorate the life of Malcolm X. And I believe it was in that same exact building in his honor where his assassination took place at. But yeah, like I said, I've seen quite a few supporters, you know, from different parts of the country and locally that were there for him, you know, to help, you know, him celebrate his commemoration of him for who he was and the work that he did do.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So, you know, that's for that. That was what that was all for. And I was very, you know, privileged to have even stood beside her and took that picture with her, you know, because out of all the years, you know, just from growing up as a child, looking up to Malcolm X as someone inspiring in my life, and as I look to other people inspiring, like, you know, he, you know, it was definitely a privilege to be able to meet his daughter and stuff, you know, so I definitely am glad that you even mentioned that so that I could be able to share that with the audience.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, you know. And yeah, so yes, and shout outs to brother Denzel Washington. I see his name.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Rogers.
I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, brother Denzel Rogers. I apologize.
Yeah, I have to catch
Denzel Rogers. Yes.
Yeah, I have to catch myself too. So a lot.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, as for that, we're gonna definitely go into what this topic is, which I titled why should black folks you know, live and work around other black folks? That's what basically the video I titled it as. And for those of you who are not in the audience right now listening, you could go on YouTube when it shows up on Brother Angel Snup 7's channel to look at the live chat say concerning this situation or what I want to talk about, you know, because lately, you know, and see, I don't really want to get too emotional with this when I speak about it, because it can drive a person crazy with what I'm finna discuss with you as the audience about this afternoon. But I have been seeing a growing situation with the crime in my local area. Now, when I came here 10 years ago, I didn't hear too much about violence, you know, gun shootings and killings and all this other kind of stuff, like it starts surfacing more here where I'm at. And the reason that it is surfacing more because of the unfortunate politics that's going on right now in our society, the economic situation, you know, where you got a lot of have-nots, and so that's stressful on itself. That's what helps generate crime anyway, no matter where any of us go. But the thing is that there are still differences in certain places across the board when you want to talk about this society as a whole. And I've been finding where, like myself, like I did some years ago, you still have black people that are leaving the big major cities, going either to the suburbs or relocating to, you know, smaller towns with lesser populations and stuff in places where they can actually feel more safe to live at and raise a family at, you know. And so this is why I decided to have the video titled in the way that I had just explained, because I feel like at this point in time, you know, many of us don't have a choice right now. You know, it is so much, you know, overwhelming violence going on amongst us. You know, and you know, I want to point out something too before I go further, because I know that you have those of us amongst the soul black community that's going to sit up and say that, well, white people are killing each other, Hispanics are killing each other, Asians are killing each other, you know, and so forth and on. But one thing we've always pushed from this platform is that we're not them different groups of people, okay? And also, too, we're not Native Americans, even though soul people and Native American people in this country do share a common oppression when it comes to dealing with our 400 or 500-year-old oppressor in this nation. But at the same time, they still have their own, and this, they even know what tribes they came from. We don't even know what tribes we came from, okay? We're still a product of slavery, and that's all we know. Regardless of how we try to, you know, twist it and all that kind of stuff, we're products of slavery. Okay, and that's just the bottom line to that. So that's what sets us distinctively outside the norm when it comes to our situation, and accordingly to how we deal with each other. There is truth in that, whether people want to believe it or not, because it's obviously working the way that, according to history of how it was planned out, the work, you know, and to keep us marginalized and oppressed as a group of people in this nation. So I would say that there is, again, truth to that. And you can see it working in all aspects, you know, of our lives, whether it's at work, whether it's in academics, education, whether it's in the church, in the mosque, wherever we find ourselves at, even whether it's in the entertainment, sports industry, as you can see, what happened to Sean P. Diddy, unfortunately, like what over recently ago happened to R. Kelly, you know. And yeah, I don't want to go into that subject because this is not the topic, but I will say P. Diddy may not be the last that we're going to see with this situation going on in the entertainment industry when it comes to us as soul people. You know, but it's still play. The Willie Lynch mentality plays a part in it, whether we want to accept it or not. You know, and so we're so divided, and so you know, much to the point that this is why it's hard for us to even come together to try to form some type of kind of real unity bond amongst ourselves in this nation. Like I heard, piggybacking off a premiere video brother Taalib made last night, where he was talking about even the LGBT community has more unity than we have. Even the women, Me Too, or the feminine movement, as far as women go, even they have more unity than we have. That's why things is getting done for them. That's why things is getting done for the LGBT community, whether we like it or not. But that's the truth of the matter. It's because they have a certain type of common bond with each other when it comes down to certain things. And we, as so black people, don't have that. And so we choose to, you know, what we choose to do is we choose to hate on each other. We choose to sabotage each other. We choose to help ostracize each other. Something we always complaining about how the Caucasian or the racists have done to us, but we do the same thing to each other. You see, and going back before what I said in another live broadcast is that we keep forgetting, or we got to learn to understand and remember that anything about us is done. Whatever we are, that's done. Okay? Anything about us is done. The only thing that makes us stand out different is because of the color and pigmentation of our skin. But everything about soul black people in America comes straight from the Caucasian. Okay? Because that's our granddaddy, that's our grandmama, and that's our mama and daddy. Accept it or not. It's just the way it is. And when we're acting out the character of grandmama and granddaddy, this is the results we gonna keep continually getting. So, I mean, when I see, going back to where I started at, you know, when I see the crime rising in my local immediate area where I'm residing at, and stuff, and all I'm seeing is us killing each other, where you got majority of white people or different other people here, but it's still us being the ones pulling out the AR-15s or the 9mm Glocks, you know, busting caps at each other for whatever frivolous reason it is, more than likely. That says that continually we cannot live together and cohabitate together, you know. And like I try to tell people, just like an ancestor of ours named Nearly Fully Jr. once said, basically, if soul people cannot act civilized with each other, then we don't even need to say anything to each other. And that's still, and he said that, I believe, either in the 50s or the 60s. And that's still standing on true ground today, right, in 2024. Because of the indoctrinated mentality we have, you know. See, first of all, when we walk out our doors every day, we have to have our armor on. Just being a soul black person living in America, you got to be suited and booted and with your armor on anyway once you walk out the door. So when you walking out the door and you encounter people that look like us, the unfortunate truth is they're going to probably get immediately quicker pushback even than you would from the racists. And that's what I'm seeing here. Okay? Like I said, whether it's on the job, whether it's in school, whether it's in the church, whether it's at the shopping mall, you know, wherever you go, you know, and you run into one of us, or especially on the street somewhere, you got to always constantly be on your guard. You got to have your armor on, because you don't know what to expect, especially from someone who has an over 400-year slave mentality, okay? You know, I was talking to somebody the other night, right? You know, and out of respect for that person's anonymity, I'm not going to mention no names or nothing, but I will say this, even though I don't agree with him, but I will say this, though, is that when he told me he'd rather go to jail and do a couple of days than to pay out whatever fines he need to pay these white folks, that really that part kind of made me concerned, because I've been in that mind frame set, or I've been under that mind frame, that mental mind frame concept of being institutionalized, okay?
Right.
So I know what that's all about, okay? So when he said that, and you know, I'm in my 50s and he's 40s, and you know, you would think even by that time he would have kind of learned some things from experiences like that, you know? And so it's like, when you telling me this, you're telling me that you'd rather take a chance and go to jail while you could still be free out here paying your fines off. You could be in there and you might not even make it out of there. See, here's the thing, because this person never been to prison, okay? But he's been to jail numbers of times. See, people, and especially us as soul people, we keep playing with these white folks, not understanding when you take a chance and end up catching misdemeanor charges, they don't realize that that could add up to felonies. They could turn them into felonies. They could say, oh, okay, you done caught too many misdemeanors, you a habituate. We gonna just upgrade this to a felony. Now what you gonna do? You see? Because once it become a felony, now you talking about the possibility, if you don't get probation or something, you talking about the possibility of looking at prison. Okay? So I mean, you know, we play these games with ourselves, not understanding the seriousness of this, you know, divisive criminal justice system we got in this country. Like they always say, it's two rules to each side. You got a different set of rules for white, and you got different set of rules for black. And that's what this criminal justice system in this country has always been predicated on since the inception of this nation. So when you get caught up in this system and you think you could keep playing with these folks, catching these little miscellaneous charges or these misdemeanor or high misdemeanor charges, then they gonna look at you and say, damn, you fall in the under the lines of being a habituate. You fall under the guidelines of being a habituate. So that means, like I said, they could upgrade that to a felony. And up under them guidelines, give you as much time as they can. You know how many people going in prison right now because they got their charges upgraded from a misdemeanor to a felony? This ain't nothing to play with. You know? And from the way he explained his situation to me, he could have might as well, you know. So when he tells me that he'd rather go in there and sit in jail for a couple of days, ain't no way in the world. I told him, I said, man, ain't no way in the world I would do a second in there. And just, you know, and I'm much more battle tested than he is when it come to that. When I told him that I wouldn't even do a second, he claimed he understood that, but he said he got to do what he got to do. Okay. You know, that's all I could just say, you know. But at the same time, we got a lot of our people under that mind frame set of way of thinking. And so this is where you talk about the purge coming in, when you want to talk about separation amongst us. This is where the purge comes in now. It's like me and Brother Taalib had to purge all those phonies and fakes away from us. That wasn't, you know, bringing any substance, real substance to this platform. That, you know, that I was just here to call friction, division, and all this other crazy stuff, you know. So people have a right. It's true. But also people have a right not to live around certain different type of people either. Even if they are soul brothers and sisters here in the hills of North America, you know. So it's like they have a right to actually, they have a right to go live in a small town, which is a more tight-knitted community and stuff, where they could feel more safe at, where they could feel more safe at raising their children or families at. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. We have a right not to be what they call the hood. We got a right not to be in places like that, especially if we could afford to move up out of them type of situations, you know. And there are, you know, low income places. Like it was a sister who once told me, it was a sister who once told me that used to be on our platform, that once told me that even if you do get low income housing, you could go move certain places on the outskirts of town or the city, away from all the static, you know, and stuff that be going on in inner cities where they ain't got nothing but ghetto hoods at and all that kind of stuff, you know. So you ain't got to necessarily be rich to move to the suburbs. So that's what a lot of people are doing now, you know. They're moving out the city, you know. Mostly, and even though, you know, I don't really get into too much of mentioning relatives, but a lot of them, where I'm originally from, have moved out of the city into the suburbs because, you know, like I said, people want to live and feel safe where they live at. You know, they want to be around people like them that's just trying to raise their families in peace. That's just trying to be, you know, you know, out the way of the drama about nobody next door to them selling drugs, or across the street from them running a crack house where you see people running in and out all day long, running across state line next door to a trap house just to go get them some dope and all that kind of stuff. They ain't got to worry about their children going out in the backyard or the front yard playing without being caught up in the middle of a hailstorm of bullets flying back and forth past them. Because you got some idiots that want to just recklessly shoot it out with each other without understanding that it might be little kids in the way, playing in the front or backyard, or elderly people just sitting on their chair on the porch, minding their business, you know? So, I mean, this is the reason why I say that should black people work and live around other black people? And it's unfortunate that there are many of these jobs out here, you know, especially in today's job market, where it's so much harassment going on, so much, you know, discrimination, as enough as it is, as well as racism going on these jobs and stuff, you know. You got, you know, even a lot of different types of personalities of people every day working around each other, you know, and stuff like that. And you got to go in there just like when you, and I hate to bring the term jail or prison up, but it's the true reality of it. It's just like going in jail or prison hoping you make it out alive in one piece. Because when you go into work, you got to deal with a lot of baggage, especially if you ain't trying to carry your outside baggage in to work. When you get ready to clock in, you still got to deal with other people's baggage or attitudes or personality or, you know, attitudes or whatever they got going on. And so you got to know how to navigate through that to be able to make it out of there at the end of the day when people get ready to clock out, go home, you know, allow yourself to get put in a situation job anymore because you had to go off on somebody or you had to go off on the boss or something, you know, or because you got, you know, tired of people disrespecting you. So now you got to, this is the reason why, and like I was trying to tell that same individual one time that said he'd rather do time in jail than pay a fine, you know, I was trying to tell him, well, we got brains for a reason. Use them. You know? And so when you go into these different environments like the work environment, you got to use your brain to navigate through the situation in order to come out in one piece and knowing that you're still able to hold a job. You see? Because it takes a whole lot to hold a job. Just like it takes a whole lot to be in a situation like in jail incarceration or prison incarceration, to be able to survive, especially without getting your man or womanhood took in there or getting violated or something, or getting possibly physically harmed in another manner. You know, it's basically the same thing. But enough as far as with that, all I'm just saying is that, you know, these are the realities that we have to deal with, especially when we come in contact with each other as soul black people. This is what we got to deal with. And I'll be watching, I'll be paying attention, okay? Because since a lot of black people always want to say, well, white people do this, white people. Listen, I live here in a city, okay, that is predominantly white, okay? I see how they act and deal with each other. I see their daily movements and how they interact amongst themselves and with each other. And it's a whole lot different from the way we interact amongst each other. I see the same thing with the Hispanics, the Asians, even the African immigrants, the Arab or Mediterranean immigrants that's here. You know, they all have a different way of how they deal with each other And even, yes, they do have their problems as groups, okay? But they know how to deal with it in a different way than how we deal with our issues. You see? And like I said, it comes from us having that slave mentality, frame mindset. It's why it's unfortunate that we cannot, even come together. Like, for an example, with the Operation Exodus Mississippi Campaign Project, like I explained earlier. You had too many eyes in you, big eyes in yous. Too much ego involved. You had too much, divisiveness going on. And when you got a situation like that going on, you got a lot of our people sometimes that just say to hell with it. And those of you that's in the audience, that's saying, well, you sound like you got a defeatist attitude. And I know you can't be honest saying that in the back of your mind or whatever, but see, at the same time, I'm just pointing out things to let you know why we are where we at internally and essentially. And this is what we got to address as we even work toward liberation at some point of time. We have to address these issues. We're going to have to. Because if we don't address these issues, then we might as well just consider ourselves in bondage. Or being in bondage permanently. If we do not ever address these internal issues, we might as well consider ourselves internally in bondage forever. I could tell you another situation recently ago. I was talking to a brother while I was at work. He was a customer, okay? And so I just decided to chat with him for a few while I was working, right? And he explained to me, so you don't care. Basically, you wanted to see him. He was afraid he was going to probably, get promoted to take your position or something, or whatever the case is. And see, this is another reason going into what else I'm going to say is because you have black people who see other black people trying to progress, even like myself, and they don't want to see you progress in life. They don't want to see you climb up in life. So they're going to do anything and everything to sabotage you. Even like with the brother I was telling you about, who said he'd rather do a few extra days in jail than to pay a fine, And this is what we're dealing with amongst each other. And this is why a whole lot of us are leaving the unquote black community or so-called black community because of this type of situation. Like I was trying to tell a relative on the phone yesterday about leaving big cities where it is more of a concentration of us at. But people don't want to hear the truth, because it's something about the truth that just don't sit too well with people, that they just can't deal with it. So they either let their emotions get in the way by blocking them from being able to see and recognize the truth for what it is, or they just can't take it, where they'll try to switch the conversation to something else. or even, oh, I got to get off the phone, I got something to do, you know, that type of situation. Because they don't want to hear the truth. And see, when we got that type of attitude spread throughout, you know, the soul black, you know, community, this is the same results we're going to always keep getting, you know. And I want to also point out something else too, is that the same younger guy I'm talking about, I even told him this is why other groups of people don't respect us. You know, this is the attitude that permeates amongst us as tens of millions of people in this nation. This is what the type of attitude we carry around. We don't care what other people think. We don't care. Well, if you don't care about how other people think or see you, how do you expect them to respect you? To even respect even any type of rights you may have, whether it's civil rights or human rights. So now you're getting slaughtered every day in these streets at the hands of law enforcement, especially those who are racist in law enforcement, you know, because they don't have respect for you. These other races, you're getting violated, harmed, you know, because they don't respect you. So how do you think you're going to ever get respect to the point where people finally will come to the realization that, hey, we can't keep just saying anything or doing anything to black people like that? You see, how do you ever think that you're going to keep getting that you're going to ever get that type of respect in a country like this if you keep, you know, carrying yourselves the way that we carry ourselves as a group of people, especially when we can't even act civil amongst each other. So this is what we're going to keep getting as a result. And this is why I say, why should we live around each other and work around each other when there's that type of situation going on? You know, and I'm not trying to sound divisive when I'm saying this. I'm trying to make a point. All I'm saying is, like someone else would say, look at yourself in the mirror. Stop judging one another. Stop being the first one trying to cast the first stone. And look at yourself in the mirror. Then that's the beginning of change within the inner self. And when you can change the whole totality of existence in the way that things are, can finally change for a different direction for once and all. And you know, I just want to then, you got to ask yourself this question: how long would that last if it ain't no real order being put in place for our civility? You know, and so with that said, like I was going to say before, was that I want to just say that I'm not going to ramble on, even though the brother told me I got the platform. So for now, I'm going to just digress and pass it back over to him and let him have the mic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad that you come here and bring us this message today. Your topic was, I'm gonna paraphrase, something to black folks. I'm talking like I'm not one of them. Should we live around? should we live around each other? You know, should we live and work around each other? I want to bring to the platform our brother, the myth detector. Can you hear us, brother?
Yeah, I can hear y'all. How's the volume on my end? Can y'all hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you just fine on my end. I hear you just fine.
All right.
Did you hear any of the conversation so far, brother?
No, I just briefly tuned in. I saw the title. I can't really get a complete context of what y'all been talking about. I just really just see the title and just dropped in a couple minutes ago.
Okay, well, just based on that thought, I was gonna throw my little 2 cents in. If you want to just let me say what I need to say, or did you already have something that you want to talk about as far as this topic is concerned? Do you have something different that you want to talk about?
No. Not really. You can go ahead, and I'll just go off of you.
Okay. All right. So again, we want to welcome another brother to the panel, our friend, the myth detector. And for those who have not subscribed to this channel, make sure that you do subscribe to that brother's channel. He brings us some real stuff. He detects. A lot of us already thought that we had the truth. And so since we already know, nobody can't tell us nothing. That's one of our main problems. I already know. No, you believe. You don't know. And you even say out of your own mouth that you believe. You don't say that you know. Anything influenced by religion is belief. So that's belief. The Nation of Islam made it very clear. And there were some things they actually knew. There was a difference. And on the back of the Muhammad Speaks, Elijah Muhammad said, we believe that Wallace Farad Muhammad, or they call him Master Farad Muhammad, came to us July 4th, 19th. We believe that. They don't know that. Then there's a whole long list of things the Muslims believe. Then when you become a member of the nation, they teach you the actual facts. And really, you don't really get a lot of pushback on the actual facts. It's the belief that you claim to be knowledge that's the problem. Truth hurts. That's why a lot of people don't go to the hospital. They don't go to the doctor because they don't want to know the truth. They don't want to hear I got cancer. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that they have something wrong with them. That's why they don't go. That's why you don't want to take your car to the shop. You hear this knocking. Something is wrong with your car, but you don't want to take your car to the shop because it might be something that might cost you thousands of dollars. You rather just run the car to the ground and get stranded in the middle of the highway. We don't want and don't like the truth because it hurts. Especially if you thought that you already think that. And a lot of us don't want to know. We just caught up in emotion over something that sound good. Sound good did not get me out of my situation, sounding good. Because I sounded very, very good. And those who listened to me sounding good was laughing because they know damn well that's not going to get me out of my situation. It took real knowledge, not my belief. I had to have faith and belief in myself, but I had to find the proper knowledge in order to work my situation. I want to give a brief piggyback off what Brother Taalib just said. Now, for me, if you want to move away from black folks, that's your business. I don't care. People have, that's all I ever knew for years and years and years. I don't know nothing. I've always been around black people. So, brothers and sisters, that's all I've ever known. I don't know about these mixed communities. I didn't know anything about these mixed communities and things of this nature. I don't know anything about that. So, that's all I ever knew. But as I got older, I remember the first time I went to New York when I got older, and we visited my relatives there, and they had to put on all these locks. When we go in and out the door, you got to lock up like you're in jail. They got all these locks, lock the windows all up. The door is actually made out of steel. I'm like, I wasn't used to nothing like that. I wasn't used to nothing like that. But that's how they live in the city. And they lived in New York in a mixed community. You have everybody there. A lot of us know how New York City is. It's a very, very mixed community. But that's how you have to live there. Lock your car, lock up your house, lock up your dog. You got it because folks will steal, folks will hurt you. That's how you live. I don't know how they live. I don't know how people live that way. You got to be all locked up like that. I'm used to grow up in a community where we never locked the door. The door was always open, and you had a screen door to keep out the mosquitoes and the flies. That's how I was raised for years and years and years. I don't know nothing about locking everything up. But that's how a lot of us live, and we've been living that way all our lives. We never lived in a community where you didn't lock nothing up. When people come to your house and you wasn't there or nobody answered, they just went away. They didn't open the door and come in your house. Folks just did not do that. That's what I'm used to for years and years and years. Only recently as an adult, you got to lock your door, lock your car, lock up your dog. You got to do all these things because they don't have that kind of respect for others. And they will come in your house and they will do things. They will steal. They will hurt you. The easier you make it for them. So I'm not used to that. The worst I ever lived when I lived in Jackson, Mississippi for a while. And every time I turned around, it was breaking in my car. I've never experienced that before. I've never experienced that type of thing before. So I don't blame nobody, and I don't condemn nobody. Like I heard Dr. Umar Johnson told this man he don't have the right to move his family to a place where it's more peaceful or better, whatever. And you moving away from the black people and blah blah. Hell yeah, you should. If black people shooting guns and got their dogs running loose, biting folks or whatever, any kind of dangerous place, common sense tell you, I got to get the hell out of here. Who is going to go to a store and you know there might be a shooting? People not controlling their children, they might throw a can of soup at your head. Nobody want to be in that type of environment. You want to go to a place where you can live in peace. As peaceful as can be. You don't want to go to a place that's known. You don't want to live there. Common sense. Even Caucasian people. If these Caucasian people are violent, meth heads and crazy, they're going to leave them. So how are we going to condemn somebody? The problem is not the neighborhood. The problem is the people in the neighborhood. And if you want black folks to stay with black folks, then we have to take control of our neighborhoods. We have to take control of the places that we live and make them the way that we want them. If not, then they're going to disintegrate. And we don't have that power. We don't have that control. Matter of fact, we don't want that kind of control. Because on this platform, we talk about the Mississippi campaign, talk about taking control of a state. Oh, we gonna get your ass together, or you gonna get out. Oh, ain't nobody gonna force you out. You're just not gonna be able to deal with the rules. You're gonna leave on your own. Because you ain't never been around righteous people before. Take your dope dealing, drunk ass on somewhere. Go somewhere else where they will tolerate you. No, we don't want to put black folks in jail if we take control. But that's where your ass gonna be. In fact, transfer you to a state where it's more suitable for your behavior. Because we don't do that here. So of course people want to come here because it's peaceful. Anybody that want peace, I'm gonna go to there. They keep their place together. I want to go to a more, I want to be able to live my life a little bit. You can't stop violence because the most peaceful person can become violent. That's not what. And see, that's another thing. You put that on the poor. Rich folks do drugs too. Why you think Diddy is in trouble? But a lot of them, they get out of their crimes because of their money, because of their status. That's why you don't see them all locked up. Like Justin, what's his name? Justin Timberlake, whatever, Laker, whatever his name is. He was caught drunk driving. Got his charges down to a non-traffic offense. What? Are you serious? So that's the only difference. Hell, I'm watching movies on TV, real life stories, rich people. But they put all this like only poor people is doing this and that and that. I'm watching stories. Wealthy teenagers don't have nothing else to do, so they said, let's go out and see how many people we can kill. I wonder how I feel to kill people. This is rich teenagers. And if they're not doing that, they doing these ecstasy and these other drugs a lot of us don't deal with, but they do. And the Mexicans know they do it because the Mexicans killing themselves to get these folks their drugs. So I don't blame nobody if they want to live. Now, personally, me, I would rather, just like the sister said, shout out to Sister Mary in the chat room, I would rather live around my own. It's natural to be around your own. And within the last few years, I haven't lived in the black community. I've lived like in a mixed type of community, and I had problems with white folks. You have problems with black people, but see, that's something, when people are foul, you're not going to escape that. I'm in my house minding my own business, and trouble can come to you. I don't care how peaceful you are, how goody two-shoes you think you are. I'm living in the community, the trouble come to me. I didn't go out looking for no trouble. I'm in my house and they come to me in my house. The white folks messing with me. And when black folks get caught up, they don't want to talk about that. I was watching a video a few hours ago about this brother and sister. They moved to Montana. We got 76 acres. I wonder the white folks won't bother us. Wow, okay, you want to get away from the black folks, you want to get away from the city or whatever. Now you're in Montana because you think it's supposed to be peaceful, but now you worried because it hasn't happened, but you worried about, I wonder what the white folks think, I wonder what they're going to do. A stressful life. We cannot run away from violence in America. It don't make no difference where you go. Wherever there's people at, there's a probability that you can get hurt. You cannot escape it. The celebrities don't escape it. Nobody escaped it. What was her name? Nancy Pelosi, a big shot lawmaker. Somebody was able to scale the fence or do whatever and shot her husband. Bill Cosby's son, murdered. May he rest in peace. Ennis Cosby. Will Smith pulled over by racist police officer. We cannot escape these things. You might feel better. You have people, I don't know how they do it, but these folks stalk celebrities and they scale the fence, they end up in the house. What was his name? One of the Beatles. George Harrison, before he died. Somebody broke into his house. A Beatle. And what's his name? John Lennon was murdered on the street in New York. So these are things we cannot escape. You feel better when you move to a safe place or whatever. We feel better, but that's just something that we really cannot escape. But one thing soul brothers and sisters can do, which they don't want to do, I say take control of a state, and then you can put those things into motion so that it can be your safe haven and sanctuary. So you can be the example to show all these other suckers this is how civilized people are supposed to live. But in order to create that, there's a lot of things that you gotta let go. And I'm glad that many of them do not embrace the Mississippi campaign, because they're not the material that you need in order to create this new reality. So it's good that you are right where you belong, with the foul. You're foul and you belong right here, because you're foul. And until you change, you're not going to be able to create nothing better. I don't care who you vote for. You can vote for Kamala Harris. You can vote for Trump. You can vote for Donald Duck. Your situation is not going to change. Only thing you're going to get is a false sense of relief. Let me say this. I'm going to turn the mic over to our brother, the myth detector. Like I said, it's natural to be with your own kind. We even did it in school. Because as I grew up, we began to mix. We began to go to these segregated schools or whatever. And if you notice, a lot of the white children was with the Caucasian children, black folks with the black folk, and then we had other categories. The misfit children, that's where I was at. I was black. Black children didn't like me. I was too much of a nerd. I probably was too black. So you had the misfit children. If you was fat, you was a misfit. Now, fat is not being a misfit, because the whole country is suffering from obesity. So fat is not being a misfit no more. But if you was fat, I didn't know what gay was. There was a gay brother. If you was misfit, nobody wanted you. The black people didn't want you. The white folks didn't want you. Whatever, you end up, there was the misfit category. I was in the misfit category. So, that's where I stand. So I don't know nothing about. All that I have to say, if you want a better place, you cannot run and hide. I feel better around I was a truck driver. Whenever I went all across the country, I still felt better around black folks on the black side of town. I slept with one eye open because I don't trust your happy ass. And they even tell you, on the black side of town, bruh, you know. I think it was Nebraska. Let's see, Lincoln, Nebraska, Omaha. I think I was in Omaha, on the black side of town. And those folks was up all night. I had to deliver the next morning. You want to buy this? I had to get my happy ass up, take my truck, and go park out on the highway. Because these people think you're a truck driver, and they wonder what you got or whatever, and I'm like, this don't feel safe. I couldn't sleep. So I had to leave. Just went out on the highway. I take my chances with the wolves and the coyotes out on the side of the highway. But that's just life. That's just life. Now, like I told you, I was raised in the black community basically all my life. And where I grew up didn't have any real problems until the crack epidemic of the 80s. And it got sort of wild. And there was a murder that happened that made, state news. I don't know if it made national news, but it was like 4 people was murdered and some kind of drug deal gone bad. But after that happened, most of the young people left, and basically where I was raised is nothing but a retirement home. Nothing but a bunch of elderly, most of the elderly people. That's all who's left. Nice, quiet people there now. Because you don't expect a whole lot of activity from, older people like myself or older. And I couldn't find an apartment. I was doing my best. I wanted to try to find an apartment there. I couldn't find no apartment. But it's a nice place. And there are many nice places like that. Stay away from the young folks. They're the ones that got the energy to do stupid stuff. And they are functional illiterates. They are the ones doing it. So wherever you go, if there's young folks like that, you in trouble anyway. Go live around the old people. And not to say that they don't cause trouble, because I done seen, there have been stories, old folks was getting down, shooting at each other. I'm like, that don't make no sense. I'm done. I saw a story, old folks throwing down, shooting at each other. I'm like, what the hell? You know it's over. But I want to say this. I want to talk to y'all about Dr. Umar. Give you an update on Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar has yet to reply to our request that he would accept monies to promote our Operation Exodus Mississippi proposal. But I'm not shocked. This is how, as long as we're giving him money to benefit him and praise him, no problem. No, I'm going to give you some money so that you praise us, so that you promote us. They don't want to do that. I don't need your money like that. But see, the thing about this also is, a lot of these brothers and sisters, so-called brothers and sisters, they don't even have the maturity. I have the text. So y'all know I don't lie about nothing, because I pull out the receipts. I am the receipt king. I have no reason to lie about nothing. When I first contact him, happy Pan-Africanism, whatever the crap he's talking about, then he sent this email how he want to get paid. But then when I talk about, I request that you promote this proposal that we have here, he gone silent. The minimum you can do is say, at this time, I'm not really interested. I wish you the best in your endeavors. Habara Ghani, whatever that stuff. That's the proper, respectful thing to do. These the same people talk, I love black people. I love my black people. They the same one. I've sent many brothers and sisters emails. The minimum you can do is just say, I'm not interested. I I hope that you are successful in your endeavors. That's the least you can do. These folks not respectful. These folks are out for themselves. If they think they're going to get something about it, the emails never stop. The phone calls never stop. When I got sick, people that didn't even know me, because you know my email and my phone number is public, I started getting emails and phone calls from people trying to sell me holistic medicine for my cancer diagnosis. But then I called them and asked them about the Mississippi campaign. The email stopped. The phone call stopped. Because I don't need your holistic medicine. And that was what? That was 4 years ago. Do I look like I need your holistic medicine? Because I told them doctors, do it look like I need your chemotherapy and your radiation therapy? Do it look like I need it? But it goes back to what we was talking about yesterday on the live stream. Well, not live stream, on the premiere. I made a video earlier. It goes back to what Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. said. Since black people cannot get along, and not only black folks, anybody, when you see that you're not getting along, leave each other, go away, don't bother. On our platform, I've had many people come here pretending to be my brother. Now you know what I am. Some of these folks have known what I am, what I represent for years. But you're going to come here, and I guess I'm supposed to change my ways, and I'm supposed to accept your ideology or whatever, because I'm your brother. That don't change. I'm not going to change who I am in order so you can feel good about your belief, your ideology, because you don't like what I got to say about it. That's your personal problem. But you're going to come here and fake the funk like you like somebody, or you can be so. No, you can't do that. Because it's all about you. It's always about you. You don't give a damn about nobody else. It's about getting these folks on your slave plantation. That's what it's about. And the root of it is we're childish. That's the root of it. And I talked about a little about that on our broadcast yesterday. That's the root of it. See, I can confess. Just because you turn 18 don't mean you're an adult. It just means you're 18 years old. That's all. Just because you're 25 don't make you an adult. It just means that you're 25. Just because you're 70 don't make you an adult. It just means you're 70 years old. Because during my sojourn, even on this media, I've met many older people, silly. That's why they're not here. These people, so silly and childish, they cannot even come and have a decent conversation because they don't want their ideology, their beliefs questioned and challenged. They're childish. So how are you going to follow people like that? Why would we follow people that cannot handle that, but they want you to follow them? Follow you for what? What are they going to lead you to? They cannot even handle their belief system, their ideology to be challenged. Where you going to follow them where? Do what? Because we're childish. I mean, look at it. Look at some of these situations. You can't get your way. Start pouting your mouth. start having a temper tantrum. Angel Snub Nub 7 been in the crazy house. Angel Snub Nub 7 been in the crazy. That's one of the first thing they say. Who told you Angel Snub Nub 7 was in the crazy house? Angel Snub Nub 7, right? So apparently that don't bother me. Because you wouldn't even know anything about it. That's the first thing they said. He crazy. Just like on the playground. He got the cooties. He got the cooties. Same mentality. These people 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever years old. You got the cooties. Oh, you crazy. Childish. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, may she rest in peace. She talked about how immature and childish black people are. And there's a lot of people that like her, but they never quote her and talk about her saying that about us. We're childish, silly people. I know the Nation of Islam always call us childish and silly too, but they don't include themselves. Because that's why Malcolm is dead, because they were silly and childish. That's why Malcolm is dead. They don't never talk about themselves. A lot of folks call other people that, oh, you childish and you silly. They never include themselves. I'm probably the only one that's honest enough to come before you and say, I am a work in progress. Because I had to raise myself. I don't really have adults as an example. So I'm raising myself through trial and error, trying to be the best I can be. I know right from wrong. You know right from wrong, but you'd rather choose wrong because you want to promote whatever it is that you know ain't right. I'm a work in progress. I can come here and tell you, yeah, I'm silly. I'm an old ass man and I can be silly. I can say that. How many other live streams where you go where people talk about I'm messed up? I'm trying to work on myself. I know better, but knowing better don't mean nothing until I make it better. There's nothing wrong with us to say, I made a mistake. And when you hurt somebody. See, when I hurt somebody, I'm not going to just tell you out of my mouth. I'm going to show you in my actions. Can I buy you something? What can I do for you? Because I hurt you. I want to show you I'm sincere in the damage that I caused. That's why we have reparations, people. Because a nation reaches out to the people of whom they cause harm to and say, I know money don't solve everything, but I want to show you I'm sincere about the damage that I caused to you. That's what reparations is about. It is a mercy and a compassion when you have character, when you have integrity. You live in a nation that don't have no character, don't have no integrity. They quote Dr. King right now because they don't have to, because you don't make them prove it. And so they run around pretending like they like Dr. King, which they don't. They like him dead. Because you're not going to make them show that you have character. For Kamala Harris, the new Negro savior, which is not going to give you nothing. You have to take life in your own hands. If you don't do that, you're done. And we've been done since they put a bullet in Dr. King's neck. This generation has done nothing to add to what the civil rights movement, the Black Revolutionary Movement, however you want to call it, we have not added nothing. You should be embarrassed, but you're not. Crumb snatchers. LeBron James got a lot of money. He's a crumb snatcher. Have nothing. They made it possible. They opened the doors. Even Michael Jackson opened the doors. Because of his success, he opened the doors for a lot of these Negroes to go through. And we really don't know what Michael went through. Michael Jackson was a superstar. Michael Jackson was famous. But they still closed doors on Michael Jackson. Still closed doors on him. Before Thriller, Michael was asking these folks, will you put me on the cover of your... Black people don't sell. I'm Michael Jackson. I've been singing since 1969. We got lots of hits. Yeah, well, you had lots of hits way back then. Sit your ass down. Michael had a lot of doors. He was a superstar. So what you think? So what do you think they think about you and me? This happens because we allow it to happen. The reason why I'm talking to you right now, because I did not allow them to break me. I did not allow them to put me and guide me where they wanted me to go. I said, to hell with you, I'd rather be dead. I'm not your slave. I couldn't live that way. I tried it. I tried to live their non-threatening way. Yes, sir. How you do? Oh, it was so sickening to me because I hate these people. So I'm going to try it their way. Good morning. Good morning. No, I hate these folks. How you doing today, sir? I mean, it was sickening to me. I mean, because I hate these people. They devils. What they was doing to me. They liars and deceivers. And I got to, how you doing? This is what Jay-Z still do. I saw a picture of Jay-Z. He's a billionaire. Look, Jay-Z is a billionaire. He's still hanging out with all these old geezers that don't even know what the hell is a Jay-Z. So you know around them he got, how you doing, sir? And the language of these folks is getting drunk. What do you want to drink? You know, the certain, I don't know what these liquors is, but you know how they do. You meet them on a golf course and then y'all have a drink. Let's go to the bar and they get the little ice cubes and the Jay-Z still doing it. I saw a picture, I'm like, this Negro still a slave. I'd rather not have one dime in my pocket. I'm not bound down to these suckers like that. And I'm not bound down to no Negro like Umar Johnson or Farrakhan or Tariq or Sanetta or Morse World Tahaka, whatever his damn Haka. I'm not bound down to none of that stuff. Because I'm free. I'd rather be dead. If the Nation of Islam came into power, I might as well commit suicide. If Tahaka Bay, Moors, if these Negroes came into power, you might as well put a bullet in your brain. You think it's going to be better. Look how they treat you now. They call us all out our name. You a Sambo and you a Negro. You write them an email, they don't write you back. You try to call them, they don't return your phone call. Look how they treat you. So what you think they're going to happen to you? You gave them some power. Here I am, a little guy. And even shout out to Sister Tangi and her family. Sister Tangi would tell you, I'm a little guy. And I returned her phone call. Everybody that tried to contact me, I always return their phone call. I always return their email. And many of the people, whether you like it or not, were so happy. Oh, you the Angel Snuffing Up 7. I listen to you all the time. And I listen to them for hours. And then I don't tell them, well, you know, that's $3,000. That's $3,000 if you want to talk to me. Shout out to our people in the chat room. I haven't seen before. Free World 227, I see there, and let me put that on the board real quick. Free World 227 in the house, and we also have Live Hard Rock Truth, the Hard Rocker Truth, living truth. Thank you for joining us. This thanks to Brother Taalib, because I had no intent to come out here and talk anything. But that's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. Our problem is we're so childish. We're some childish people. We act like little kids, little children on the playground. Brother Myth Detector, what you wanna bring to us, brother?
I guess go off of what you was starting to say at the beginning about what the topic, like should black, we can live together and work together in small enclaves, like, you know, like in small groups.
Yeah.
But it seemed like most of the time I'm from Detroit and I live in Atlanta now, so Atlanta is mostly a black city. You got affluent black neighborhoods here.
Yes, you do.
You know what I'm saying? You got small affluent black neighborhoods. This is a black city, black government, black politicians, everything. But aside from that, most of the parts where a lot of black people live, like what you call the hood, you know, is not a good place. And the same thing in Detroit, where I'm from. You got affluent black neighborhoods, but most of Detroit is a slum.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Can we really live together? I mean, it seemed like maybe in small groups we can, but in really large groups, I don't know. It don't really seem like it.
Okay. I don't know. We have a person here. Bakwash. Can you hear us, Bakwash?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Welcome to the Reality's Temple on Earth. Yeah. Welcome to the Reality's Temple on Earth. Would you like to bring something to the conversation?
Okay, yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
I don't think that's as far as the question that you posted it last, brother, and the title on the show. I don't think that's possible. Black folks living together unless the savage is out of them. I'm gonna give you an example. I live in a small condominium, and recently some brothers and sisters from out of the country have moved in the building, and they're doing all kind of damn crazy BS in the building. And when you check them on it, they have an attitude like that's the norm. And you got families having dinner in the front of the building, man, and propping the door open. That kind of BS, man. And you got to push back on them. And our brothers, even with the situation with the migrants, look what's happening in Chicago. The brothers and sisters who have been in Chicago for generations, they saying they don't have a problem with people coming into the country and even into the hood. But when you tapping into their resources and you behaving savage, that's a problem. Yeah. So brothers hate going against other brothers, but if you're a savage and a beast, you're going to get that pushback. And even war, man, it's going to turn out to war. When that money runs out, you're going to see black on black crime at its highest, man.
Yeah. I know there was an apartment where we live, which was a mixed community, but it was majority black folks where we was at in the mixed community, because there was Chinese, Japanese, and other Asians and other folks too. Every morning when we come outside, somebody was sitting on your front step. You got to go around people to come out your door. There was a woman and her 4 children sitting out on the front steps one time. You know, the brothers always come there, they got to smoke and drink on people's front steps. That happened all the time. And sometimes children came out one time, and it was a woman and like 4 children sleeping on the front step. And this was almost like every day. This is what we had to deal with every day. And that's not something that you want to be dealing with all the time. But, you know, it's about respect for other people. And this is something, regardless of race. There's a show that maybe some of y'all are familiar with. It's a show called Fear Thy Neighbor. And it's nothing but a bunch of stories that happen for real, where neighbors couldn't get along with each other, and usually somebody ended up murdered. And most of these stories was white folks. You have a old Caucasian community, nothing but basically retirees. Then you got a young Caucasian family with all these children. These older white people don't like that because they bring in all this noise and racket. They retired. They moved here because they don't want to hear children. They want to be able to go and walk their dog and have a garden. Here come this guy and his 4 children and dogs and cats and stuff, making all this noise. They turn on radios and blasting music. See, that's just the disrespect. You know you moved into a community with a bunch of older people. Older people don't want to hear your rap music, your rock and roll, or whatever the hell that you playing. They don't want to hear all your children running up and down the streets. They don't want to hear that. You starting to get on these people's nerves. So one man, you know, he took action. Next thing you know, somebody was killed. But had they came there with their children, checked their children, and said, look, y'all, you know, we round a bunch of older people. You can't be making all that noise. And they was cool with theirs. Everything. We don't have no respect for nobody. I'm going to do what I want to do until somebody put a bullet in your brain. Then that's the end of the problem.
Now, you know, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but see, you got to keep messing up until somebody put a bullet in your brain. Then it's finger pointing. You know, I was in a place, like I said, I'm minding my own business. Here comes some dingbat from out of nowhere come bothering me. The apartment where I was staying at, this guy came to cut the grass, throwing grass all over my car. And don't think nothing was wrong with that. I say, hey, man, you throwing grass all over my car. I got to cut the grass. They pay me to cut the grass. Yeah, but they don't pay you to throw the crap on my car. Then when the police came, because he was white, when the police came, she was white. Well, what's going on here? What's wrong? She didn't feel no problem with there was a problem. Because she white. And white people don't do anything wrong. And I'm sitting in my house. I'm not bothering nobody. The trouble came to me. And then a sucker was bothering me, talking about I was making up too much. Nothing was done to her because she's white. And the landlord is white. And the same situation could still happen because you might be in a black building, but the black landlord is cool with the people you complain about. And you still have the same problem if they black. So, I mean, really, you living in an environment where people don't have no respect for one another. So you can't really, you can run, but you can't really hide. You can't escape. So, but just like Dr. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Your money status, that's going to determine if you're going to have to deal with that for so much.
Yeah.
But if you let's say you're making 40 grand a year, you're pretty much stuck unless you hardworking people, they just want to come home, drink a beer, watch the football game, go to bed, and then go to work the next day. They don't want no problems.
Exactly.
But the problem is when you have thugs, undesirables, and you explain to them, listen, brother, this is a working class building. Y'all got to chill. You can't stand in the hall smoking and drinking every night. I come home, I'm tired. I do a double, and I got ninjas in the damn hallway. Yeah. And this is how it works. They cool at first. All right, OG, we respect that. And they leave. But when Friday come and that damn alcohol and getting their system and the damn blunts getting their system, they completely forgot about the respect they showed you a few days ago.
Exactly.
And now it's a problem. Now you're bumping head. And you don't want to put hands on nobody because now you're going to have a wreck. That's going to mess up your future. Or they're going to bust your windows. I've had cases where they bust my windows. You know what I'm saying? And I call the cops on them. And they say snitches get stitches.
Exactly.
And I'm like, listen, I'm not going for that BS. You know, I left the projects to have peace of mind. So, you're stuck. So good black folks, you can live around good black folks, but when you have savage brothers, you can't. It's not going to work. They bring down the property value. They don't care. They can't get through to them, and it's a revolving door from generation to generation. It just nobody's happy. Nobody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I want to add on to that. Like I agree with what he said. Like it's what it really boils down to is classism. You gotta think like during integration, like when a lot of black people started to move up from the rural South to the cities, like, and a lot of white people started moving out with white flight. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, were they really wrong?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at all those neighborhoods today, it's all trash. All those neighborhoods is turned into trash once the white people left and all the black people moved. So it really come down to classism. I mean, like if you coming up from like the rural South and you don't have certain manners or whatnot, because there's a point where like from what I read, at least a lot of y'all a lot older than me, but so apparently some of the black people that have been up north, who came up north in the 30s and 40s, they ain't like when the country black people started coming up in the 50s and 60s. They ain't like that. And I heard the same thing for the white people, but it all boils down to classes. I mean, like if you got a family who've been living in the projects for generations and generations, and they all of a sudden get enough money to move in a middle class neighborhood, what you think they're gonna bring with them? They're gonna bring like the same culture they've been having in the projects with them in the middle class neighborhood, and people that's been living in the middle class neighborhood, they're not gonna like that. Hanging out, like you said, hanging outside, smoking in the hallways. Invite all your cousins over with all they playing in the front and throwing baseballs and knocking out people's windows and shit. Like, who really want to deal with that? So I don't really get mad at nobody when they say I got a little money and I want to move out and I don't want to stay in a black neighborhood. I don't blame them. To be honest, I mean, who would? I mean, if you had any type of common sense, you wouldn't, or you would at least try to pick an affluent, upscale black neighborhood if you can afford it. But
if you can find that,
if you can find it.
And you got these dudes, these pro-black brothers and sisters. They have good points, but they get mad when you want to move out the hood. They say keep your money in the hood, support the hood. You don't want to do that, man. You got imagine you got your beautiful young daughter. She's 14, and you got hood ninjas messing around with her, man. Imagine if you meet a sister and you go out on a nice date, you go in the city, you have a good dinner, you see a movie, and now you come into your crib and you got thugs and ninjas in the damn building now. Or once you come to visit, you gotta walk through the dudes with bears, cheap bears, like them dollar bears that you get from the corner stores, and they all hide. They've been on the front for hours, so that liquor is deep in them now.
Yeah, that's like on that movie. I don't know if you've seen Car Wash, but he was going on a date. He went to the projects to pick up the girl, and before he could get to her house, he had to pass by a group of like 100.
Because you got a nice woman on your arm, you got a nice car, you go in and out, you don't really say much to anybody, and now they mad, so they want to bust out your window or look at you sideways now. You got to deal with, man.
Right. So that's why I don't get too mad if somebody say they don't want to stay in the black neighborhood. I mean, I understand where you're coming from.
Right. Hey, Myth Detective, you say you from Detroit, right?
Yeah, I'm originally from Detroit, yeah.
Well, I'm originally from Detroit, too, born in Trinidad Hospital on Rosa Parks Boulevard. But listen, check this out. I got a cousin that stay near Moraine, right? Over there on the east side.
I got family over there. I was just there last month.
Yeah, right before you cross the line over in the Grosse Pointe and East Point, them areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he told me that neighborhood back in the 90s, well, he said he moved over there, I think either in the 80s, around the 80s. He said, man, that was just like East Point. all them blacks started moving there from like the Mac Bewick area, that type of part of the east side and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
He said, man, because I used to live in that area. I used to stay on Moraine right off Moros, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't live that far from each other, but that neighborhood just by the late early 2000s, that neighborhood was just trash, more trashy as Mac and Bewick and Vernon and Charlotte and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I remember when I used to talk to my grandma one day, because they moved to Detroit in the 50s. They said they used to say most of the east side used to mostly be white people until we all started moving there, and I guess I don't know, late 50s or 60s. They said the east side used to be mostly white people. But of course, you know how it is today. Now it's the worst.
Yeah. Because my cousin said when he first moved over there in the 80s, he said white people was still in the neighborhood.
Yep.
Everybody was able to cohabitate with each other.
Yep.
You know, they had more respect for each other. Now, you know, that didn't change 1,000 degrees.
Yep, which goes into the title. That's why I was saying, like, I don't know, can black people, can we all live together? Because see, look what happened once all the white people moved out when they saw us coming. Now look.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, like I was saying earlier on the platform, because I'm the one, you know what I'm saying, who decided to have that title posted up there like that, because I although this is Brother Angel Snuff, that title posted on there because, you know, this is a serious topic, you know, that a lot of black people run away from, you know, when you bring it up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like, you know, this is why I left, you know, and moved out here to Nebraska. Now, where I live at in Nebraska, you know, and I didn't even start seeing that many blacks as I see now when I got here 10 years ago, right? And now, I just moved out of a neighborhood which is more like kind of crime and drug infested, right? And when you got your, I moved right here downtown, and about a couple weeks ago, a brother 20-some years old got killed. He was a local rapper who was from here and stuff, and you know, he ended up getting killed, and it was another brother, I guess, that was involved in the situation, or somehow he got shot. And so, I mean, like, and this brother's mother had to stand there and witness that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's crazy, because out here in Nebraska, they got a culture thing going on where you got cats from Omaha and Lincoln back and forth at each other's throats and stuff. So they trying to say people that did it that had something to do with it possibly was from Omaha, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been threats back and forth going on and everything with this situation. And so, I mean, it's like, but you know, I didn't see this type of situation. And then a few months back this summer, it was a brother right up the street from me in front of this hookah spot that got killed by another soul brother, you know? And he was a security guard. And what happened was, this brother didn't even directly have nothing to do with the situation. He happened to be with the person that was directly involved in the situation, but he ended up catching a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but they decided not to charge the black guy that's the security guard, and his family still protesting that.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it happened right across the street, basically, from the federal building. And you know, in the federal building, they got cameras, so they could see everything, you know? So, I mean, it's just crazy. And it's like, I just say, man, that, you know, where I'm at in Nebraska, it's like, man, you know, it's getting crazy. And one of the reasons also is politically and economic, like I heard y'all speaking about, where People ain't got jobs. People ain't got money. So, that's produced that type of atmosphere anyway, too, And I get that. But at the same time, that's still not no excuse when all people got to do is be more civil and respectful to each other. Because look, you could go to so-called third world countries like the Philippines, and poor families, you got like 10 to 30 people able to live in the same house together. On a harmonious common basis and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so, but here it is, you get us, so black people, you can't even get two people to live in a house together without a bunch of domestic strife and stuff going on like that, So, I mean, it's like, man, it's just crazy, man, when you really think about it. And this is the reason why I say, that's why I had that title posted up there, because, I mean, how in the heck is we... And like I piggyback off of something you also said, Myth Detector. Who could blame the fact that white people left the big cities during the urban blight back in the 60s and 70s? You see what I'm saying? Who could blame them for that? Because, I mean, should nobody want to live around, even in the Nation of Islam teaching, it says even the devil don't want to even be amongst the uncivilized. You see what I'm saying? Don't nobody want to deal with somebody that's uncivil. That crosses even all racial lines. If people really want to get down to the truth about that, but at the same time, Dylan, this is specifically about us as so black people, because we have a unique situation from everybody else. Like I hear where I live at in Nebraska, you got a lot of Native Americans that's present in this area, in this part of the country I live in. And I be seeing them, and I know they do their thing, they get drunk, they get crazy, they start acting unruly and everything and all that stuff. And a lot of them out here homeless, and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of them here that came from the Black Hills up in South Dakota, and stuff like that. And they all out in the streets and doing whatever they doing. But I noticed one thing about them. They have a commune bond with each other. Even in the midst of their madness, they have a commune bond with each other. Like, look, we out here like this together, but we still Native Americans. And we still gonna stand together as Native Americans, no matter what. And when you get a group of people, even up under them circumstances, that have that type of mentality, that says a whole lot comparing to us as so black people in America. We can't even come on a common denominator or a situation to like, wait a minute, hold up. So we got to get something together in order to fix a situation. And number one, that starts with civility and common courtesy. We even lost that. I remember growing up in the 70s and parts of the 80s, where you still had some type of kind of camaraderie of common courtesy with each other. That went out the window, especially, of course, when the crack cocaine epidemic, hit the scene. But at the same time, we can't keep on even using our unfortunate part of our history as an excuse to keep doing the, foolish stuff that we still do today. Right. Because look at our younger generation. And I mean, that's where it's at.
Right, you got families, man. I mean, I'm reading the comments, and Sister Mary, you got good points, but think of your children, man. I understand you want to stay among your people, and it's dangerous being in just an all-white neighborhood, but you got to find some type of means to live where you can raise your children, and so they don't fall into the damn pit, under the vibe of the Dark Lords. You got children. You don't want your children hurt or shot. You know, you might have good children that go to school and that read, but because of the savagery of the hood, they can be victims, man.
And I want to add on to that. You see, but most of us, like Elijah Taalib said, most who want to be around uncivilized people besides other uncivilized people. I mean, I've been seeing her comments. I don't really understand. I mean, if you stand in the projects and there's killings and drug dealers every day, and you say I want to be around black people. I don't want to be around racists. You can't. I don't know what would make a person want to think that it's better to be around them. But like he said, like, civilized people ain't gonna want to be around uncivilized people. And to add on what you were saying.
Yeah, we got another
thing about white flight. I mean, and I don't know if you can really blame them, but it's just, I ain't gonna say all. Most black people cut.
Say, what was that, brother?
Yeah, we got another person on the panel.
Say something real quick.
Yeah, join the panel. Maroon Khalif, can you hear us?
How you brother doing?
Doing just fine so far.
Okay. My voice very clear.
I can hear you.
Is my voice clear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So this is something that this conversation is going on because I was just earlier, and this is what made me come to this page. Matter of fact, to the story. Because I remember a while back, I had been on YouTube, and I saw one of the brothers, how am I saying it, Taalib, I don't want to say your name wrong, brother.
It's Taalib.
Ibn Rod.
Yeah.
Okay, Taalib. So I saw one of your videos, I think it was probably about maybe 3 years ago, I'm not sure, it's roughly around there. And I remember you saying something about soul people and soul power and soul liberation and stuff like that, calling our people, name as a new name, soul people.
Yes.
So I had heard that. That's the first time I ever heard that from you. Mm-hmm. Now, fast forward a few years now, I've noticed that term has taken off, and so people are calling themselves Sula or Sulan or this and that. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, brothers, they looking into their coaches, saying they looking into, and I'm talking about youngsters too, they're looking back to the 40s, the 30s, they looking through our black culture. Recently, there popped up I don't know, some young brothers that talk about they the soul council, and talking about, so basically they invented the concept, and I'm like, hold on now. I said, now that ain't right. I said, that's not right. So I went in, I said, hold on, man. I remember there was a brother that was saying this some years back now. Hold on now. So I'm like, okay, let me go look. And I finally found this page again. I said, okay, I think this is the brother. So that's what I came to ask, where you was the one that came up with the soul brother concept and calling ourselves that, or was that somebody that came and said that to you?
To my knowledge, it was probably me. I haven't heard nobody else refer to us in our modern in our modern time. I haven't heard anyone call us those things since the 90s.
They definitely have time, brother. I mean, you know all the different, Black Power platforms, what's popular and stuff like that is out there. So, I just wanted to double check because I had to, say, hold on now. I may not agree with everything that this brother say every once in a while I come across. I said, but you got to give respect where respect is due.
Yes, sir.
You got to give respect where respect is due. So the second thing is your Mississippi campaign, and I have a question about this. Now I looked up Mount Bayou, and I've been reading up on Mount Bayou. What's your group? And I noticed that black people came together, they drained the swamps, and they built Mount Bailey. That seems like a good example as far as our people getting together and being able to do something when they put their minds together. What's your viewpoint on Mount Bailey?
I haven't heard of that.
Okay. There's a place called Mount Bayou, and it's
you're talking Mount Bayou, Mississippi. You're talking about Mount Bayou, Mississippi.
Yes,
oh, okay. What are I know some people.
Yeah.
I know some people that I think that's what the little town that they was talking about. They was trying to take control of Mount Bayou, Mississippi. I believe that was the town, and it didn't work out too well. Not the fact that it couldn't work, but the leadership, the people that was actually leading the charge, unfortunately, they didn't have their act together. It might have been possible, but this is my position on those things. I was telling them the amount of time and the amount of effort that you're putting in trying to take control of a town, you could be going for the gusto and take control of a whole state. That's what you could do. You should be trying to take control of a whole state instead of, it's like this. The same effort that you're using, would you prefer to get a small return or a large return? And the effort that you put in, so the effort that you're putting in on this small place, you could be using that effort to take control of something very, very huge and large. And really, that's the easy part. The difficult part is once you get it, what you gonna do with it. That's the difficult part. What you gonna do with it and how you gonna maintain it. Because, it's just like brothers chasing women. Oh, I want that woman. I got to have her. Okay, that's fine. And usually that's the easy part. The hard part is how you gonna keep her. Especially when she start giving you children and the family. That's the difficult part. Getting it that's the easy part. So that was that's my only complaint about them doing it that way. I don't have no problem with anything that any of us do, but we're so far behind in the game, we got to do something big to get back into the game. We can't do these little tiddly-wink, tiddly-tattly. You'll be spending the next 100, 200 years trying to get in the game. Because most of this little diddly-dally, tiddly-willy stuff that we do is basically for the benefit of a certain group. No, the Mississippi campaign, everything that you're doing is for the benefit, and you will see it's for the benefit of the all. So, and everybody going to understand, and you will see that it is for you. You are involved. When I die, it's still yours. See, a lot of these things that we invest in, if the person, all of it, the people, the believers, take control of this. But that's not how it, they claim the same thing. All of it was going to his grandchildren and his people while he's alive. So what make you think they're going to give you anything when he dead? Nobody don't have no stock. They don't have no title to nothing. Them folks not going to give you anything. See, Malcolm X should have had that. Malcolm X should have said when they were starting to get, can I get some stock? Can I get a title? Malcolm should have at least asked for the title to that house he was living in. Then they couldn't have been complaining, that's our house. But see, he's so involved in the belief and what's going on, he's not tripping off things if things go bad. The least you can have, Malcolm, is this house. They didn't want to give you the house that he overly earned, that little chump house. But that's what the Mississippi campaign is about. Putting yourself in a position, and you're going to show the people, you invested, this is yours. If we have to give out titles, if we have to give out stock, whatever we have to do, this is yours. This is yours. Whatever you say. Now, of course, we can't go by everything, majority rule. We're going to have to do the democratic thing and majority rule. That's the way things going to have to be. But everybody has a say-so. You get to vote on whatever because it's a political movement. So everybody take a vote, get your candidate, sign your petitions or whatever that you have to do, and we try to be as fair and honest as possible. And when you set up certain checks and balances so people are as honest, there's nothing that you can do. When people want to be foul, when they want to steal, when they want to lie, there's nothing that you can do that can prevent it. But what you want to do is set up a system, whereas you make that very, very difficult. And if your ass get caught, like Johnny Gill said, my. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I enjoyed our talk. I'm glad that you joined the panel. We want to close this out with closing remarks. And if anybody have anything to say, we're going to start off, I guess, with Brother Taalib, since this was his, unless you want to close us out, Brother Taalib. You want to close us out? Let everybody say.
I can do that.
Okay, Brother Taalib's going to close us out.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into order in whence we came. I guess that's fair. Brother Myth Detector, do you want to say something to close out?
No, that's it. Just appreciate talking to y'all, and I'm about to go ahead and get out of here too.
Two things to say, brother.
Okay.
Because you are the one that started this concept, brother. I don't know if you up to it.
Yes,
you
sir.
might want to start looking into the solar, movement that's going on, because the brothers and sisters, they really picking up on they black culture, black American culture going back too. So put yourself out there. I can also put some stuff up there about the Mississippi campaign if you want me to.
Okay.
And you being the one to introduce the concept, because it's important. What you got going on, brother, is very important.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? It's a big part of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So you shouldn't. I ain't saying giving it up, but I'm saying be more aware of your influence that spread.
Yes, sir.
The thing is, I think that a list, and this is just my view, from what I've been seeing around, a list of old Southern moral viewpoint and like you're saying, respectable, rules that our ancestors used to have, that be written down, and then whoever's interested in that will pass that out to them, and it'll have more, some influence among even some of the young generation that may be interested in their black heritage. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Anything that tries to help push our people forward. And that's the base, all I got to say. And I thank you for the platform, brother.
Thank you so much, and stay in touch with us. Just don't disappear.
I'm not one of them brothers that, I already know what you're about, so
okay.
I know you can't keep the belief, and that's all good, brother. I ain't thinking that.
All right.
All right, brother.
Yes, sir.
Peace and love to y'all, man.
Peace and love.
Appreciate what you're doing, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to say this, Brother Taalib, and let you close us out. I want to say something real quick.
All right.
Your topic was, can black folks live and work around each other, or should we? Why should we live and work around each other? And we had a real good conversation discussing that issue, and nobody got angry. Nobody didn't whatever. I didn't have to regulate the talk. People we was just civilized, going back and forth, right? That's what we done. That shouldn't even be necessary. We call us the savages. I'm going to say that it is possible that we can live and work around each other. And I'm going to give this example, and I'm going to tell you why. In the 1980s, and I'm pretty sure you heard of it, many of us heard, they don't talk about it, but the Nation of Islam, I was still a member, I think it was 1986 or 89, I think it was 1989, because Public Enemy had just came out, I believe. It was 88, 89, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Public Enemy had just came out, and people was just getting to know Public Enemy. There was something called the Dope Busters. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
There was something called the Dope Busters, and the Muslims, we went into the, because I was part of it, we went into, like, it was the Cabrini Green Housing Project was still up, I believe, in Chicago. We went to places, I think it was in New York.
Yeah.
And we went to high crime area in the St. Louis area. The FOI, we went there, talked to the residents, talked to the people that lived in the area. We offered no money. We offered no reward. The brothers just came in and we just basically did sort of security. And we did security on some of these buildings. We did a little security in the neighborhoods. Talked to the drug dealers, the brother that was doing the drugs, and the different gangs. And the Dope Buster program was a success. The Dope Busters program was a success. And even the government, the brothers that kicked it off, the government was funding it, started funding, so the brothers, it would actually be a job for brothers. You could actually hire brothers. The brothers, the FOI did not have no guns, we did not have no knives, went into these places, and Minister Farrakhan started getting some of the credit, if not all the credit. Look what the Nation of Islam doing. It wasn't the Nation of Islam, it was these successful. And they were able to get government money to fund it. Then Farrakhan started talking, and then Farrakhan got this reputation of, talking about Jews and all that crap they always say. And then the government took the funding away. Because they didn't want to be affiliated, of course, with the anti-Semitic guy, blah, blah, blah. Okay? I don't know why Farrakhan had to start running his mouth. Okay. Now, the Nation of Islam is bringing in money. Nation of Islam is bringing enough money where we could have kept that going, paid those brothers, and kept that going and spread that out among the communities. Farrakhan could have actually got the donation and got the brothers and sisters to keep that program going. He decided to do nothing. And little by little, it fell apart. The point I want to make is the men stood up and decided to do something about the problem. They didn't have to use no guns. They didn't have to use no knives. They didn't pay nobody nothing. In fact, they made jobs for themselves because they wasn't getting paid at first. But they made jobs for themselves. And the community applauded the Dope Busters. A brother wrote a book on the Dope Busters. I'm going to see if I can get it. But Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, got enough donations and had enough pull, could have kept that going. But they let it fall apart. Something that great. So now here we are in 2024, a problem that really was solved in the 80s, now is worse in 2024. Because the men stood up. And we didn't offer our religion either. We didn't go in there, you need to be a Muslim, you need to stop drinking, don't eat no pork. No, the brothers, we got to be nice to each other. Show brothers what civilized people do. That's all we done. And that's all need to be done now. But no, the only thing you want to do, I work 40 hours a week. I want to go home and drink a beer and watch LeBron James, a millionaire, bounce a damn basketball. That's what you want to do. Where are the men? Because
crime, that really was the close out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Because man, that is what the Dope Busters was trying to get rid of. You know. So hey, and when I mentioned them, I don't even, Farrakhan was a leader, but at the same time, I don't even put him nowhere near into that equation because basically he didn't have nothing to do with it.
No, he didn't.
He didn't really have nothing to do with it. So yeah, man. But anyway, man, you know, I just say that we just got to keep pushing ideal, and we just got to, you know, like Jesse Jackson would once say, keep hope alive and put some action behind it and do something, you know, and so that we can have a better existence, because we cannot ever get to the point of having a better existence than what we have. Then what is the use of us living or working around each other? So, you know,
yeah.
And with that said, I'm going to regress, and I want to say before I, you know, leave out, you know, thanks for allowing me on this platform this afternoon to speak about this topic, and also thanks to the brothers that came on here to, you know, add in their input. And thanks even to the people in the chat room who commented or responded to what was being said on this live.
Yes, sir.
And I look forward to those of you who haven't seen it once it's posted on YouTube. Once the video is posted, that you get something out of this. And come on, let's keep this, you know, momentum with this subject going, because this definitely needs to be addressed. You know, because all the mechanicals of what's gonna help, you know, get the Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign off the ground, and which is gonna keep it going. This is addressing this is what we talked about today is gonna definitely be a part of it.
Yes.
So there ain't no use of running away from it, you know. So with that said, brother, I'm looking forward to getting back with you in the near future. You know, may